Hey, I don't care what I do. When I hear a certain beat that I really can get into, I find myself a little bit of New Orleans second line. You know what I mean? I find a way. Even when a praise dancing, before you know it, I'm into a New Orleans second line. Welcome to Planning with the Planets for the tribe, and I continue to say until we go live again for IVTV. And even if it's IVTV, it may be a new format. It may be something more like Cosmic Conversations. I don't know, but we'll see how that shapes up. Until then, I wanted to give you the benefit of consistency of this voice in this energy that we are working with. I am LaTanya Taylor, affectionately known as the Rev Coach, the Juicy Spirit Mama, the Priestess of Purpose, Pleasure, Passion, and Profits. And I am Dr. LaTanya for those of you who are even returning to the community or just meeting me for the very first time. And so when we come together, we're talking spiritual science, really. Yes, we are using what's called astrology, but it's not new. Ancient people have always read the signs in the sky and on the land, and through the animals. So this thing that we're doing, we've been taught that it's foreign. We've been or that it's new, or we shouldn't do it. Well, anything that we've been told that we shouldn't do, we should look at it twice and 3 times and then align again, because many of us have been programmed to not tap into the very thing that takes us deeper into our psychology, the science of how we do relationships, but most of all, the religion of us. It's already in us. And so, tonight, when we come together every other week right now, we're doing, for IVTV, we were doing it weekly. And so we're doing it right now every other week. I think it lends to some digestion time. But I will tell you, it's such a divine setup to be here on the 1st. Okay. What a divine setup. And we are about 6 days away from a lunar eclipse. Now, we just came off, the last time we were together, we were processing the new moon in Virgo. Now we're getting ready to go into this full moon in Pisces, and then Virgo again, remember. So I've been typing it everywhere. We're between 2 Virgo moons, new moons. But in between is Pisces, Virgo's opposite. And I was spending the time trying to pull onto the screen. I really wanted to find, maybe I can when I take some questions and answers, but I wanted to find a visual that I like, because there were many types of visuals, but there was one visual that I saw that these alignments that we are discussing literally have the signature of the Merkaba on it. So what is the Merkaba? We'll get into it in a moment. But you may hear some other people saying it's lock-in season, it's lock-in September, it's lock-in time, but they don't tell you why. Some people are getting on just saying, "Oh, it's lock-in season because we got so many months to the end of the year. If it's something that you want to get done, this is the time to get it done. This is the time to really lock in and focus." So there are people who are creating programs and that type of thing to lock in, and it is a special time. But there's a reason why it's lock-in season. But let me say, we're going to try to eat this elephant one bite at a time, because there's so much going on right now energetically. I know you can feel it. You do not have to, I don't have to ask you if you are an empath, a creator, a creative, a spiritual warrior who is sensitized and desensitizing from the lies and the nonsense, and your third eye is open. If you are one who's a spiritual navigator, you've always paid attention to the stars. Some of you are deconstructing faith or deconstructing your Christianity, and so some of this language is new to you. I speak energy. You have no idea the number of people who say, it takes me a minute to try to understand all this language. Hell, it takes me a minute when I go around the normies, if you want to call them that. And they're speaking the regular language. In my mind, in my spirit, I'm translating. How many of you do that? How many of you listening and translating? How many of you are listening and decoding now? Some of you may not be there yet, but it's all around us. This is a giant womb behind me. You know, and the mother is always speaking through her creation. And some of us have skills, gifts, and abilities based on how your planets are positioned to be able to see, to hear, to feel things. And I say all of that to say, I know that there's been a lot of feels, all the feels for so many people. Some of us are legitimately feeling grief because there has been a lot of loss or death and transition, because their veil was very thin with this Black Moon Lilith energy. It's about the other world, either crossing over into it or being able to get messages from it. And so that energy has not gone anywhere. If anything, it's been building. I think that, again, I keep on saying, I gave you an overview of the entire year in January. Then I came back again and did it in about March or April. And one of the things I said was, it's going to start intensifying. Well, baby, it doesn't get any more intense. Let me get my notes, because I got so many, I halfway don't know where to start. So let me just try to get it all out. The most important highlights. There are 7 planets in retrograde. This phenomena has been happening really for the last 3 to 4 years, about this time of the year. And if you're not careful, if you're not doing your energetic clearing, if you're not involved in some type of process, community, therapy, you are not being poured into. It could be very easy to take this energy on and think something is wrong with you based off of your trauma, based off of the unhealed areas in your life. And even for those of you who say, I don't have any trauma, I don't have any unhealed areas in my life, life is good, I'm flowing. If you're sensitive, you could be picking up other people's energy, particularly if you're in the service industry. You have to come in contact with different energies of people or nature. You can easily be picking up energy that's not yours. Yet at the same time, those of you who are cultural custodians, you are the chosen ones. You've been called to be the awakened one in your bloodline, or reawaken one in your bloodline. It is very easy for you to be clearing something that's in your bloodline. And you don't know why is this coming up? Why is it riding me like this? Why is it affecting me like this? Okay, first of all, let's look at the number 7. 7 is a highly spiritual number, but it's also the lightning flash. So whenever you see 7, it's the kind of energy that calls you to go in. A lot of people see 7 and say 777, the lucky number, the spread, jackpot, I win. You do if you can endure. See, there are very few people go and hit the jackpot on the first pull. You got to be willing to risk. You got to be willing to keep on pulling that thing down. Got to keep willing to doing throwing the crap. Now I don't know the crap table, but I'm just gonna use the analogy, okay? Because I don't really know that. And so that's a code. 7 is also the number of the mother, known as Yemoya, Mami Water. And when we look at the waters are communicating. It's very water. This is a very watery season. 7 planets: Saturn, Neptune, Jupiter, Uranus, Pluto, the North Node. But guess what? There are more planets that we don't even talk about that are also in retrograde. Chiron being one of them, which is the wounded healer. So that means that the thing that you think, I already cleaned that up, I already did that. Why is this coming up again? Why is this affecting me like this? You could be watching something on TV and it hits you in your heart and your spirit. Because Chiron is in retrograde. It's like the residue of a thing, even if the residue is in your bloodline. It's coming up. This is a cord cutting season. I put it on my Facebook post, honey, this Facebook post didn't get much activity. I'm going to take it down tonight or tomorrow and drop it into the portal, because it probably should have been in the portal in the first place, where the real spiritual awakened ones, the ones who really about this life, want to have that conversation. Because either Facebook isn't showing it or it's too deep. I've been quietly deleting people, because it is that season. Some of us have absorbed too much, and particularly air signs. If you're water, you may be watery, teary, emotional, that type of thing. And if you are earth, you may feel really muddy, messy, like not messy in terms of messy talk or messy energy, but just like, slippery, like you're getting into it, and it's not perfect, it's not clean, it's not clear. But if you're air energy, it could be affecting your communication. Like you could feel like out of nowhere. One of the sisters said to in a meeting yesterday, she said, I feel like I'm being punked. This energy is, everybody is feeling it. Everybody. Imagine the people who don't have any tools, who don't have community. You work with people like this, who don't have tools, who don't have community. I pray you're not going to church with or fellowshipping with people like this, because if you put religious insanity and you put in zealousness and judgment and negativity in any kind of way, it becomes something very volatile. So we're dealing with the 7, right? But let me see. All right, how do I break this down? Okay, so let's just deal with we're clear that the sun is sitting in Virgo. The moon is sitting in Sagittarius right now. Now the moon is going to move, because it moves the most. Mercury is in Leo, Venus is in Leo, Mars is in Libra. That's really not the focus. What we need to do, why we need to even look where everything is because we're in the eclipse energy. We're in it. We've been in it for about 3 months, because eclipse energy, it just doesn't happen. It loads in. It's very intense. The closer you get to it, it can even feel chaotic. But there are some favorable positions in terms of where everything is sitting as we move forward. And that's one of the reasons why people are calling it the lock-in energy, because even like today, the reason why on a numerical level, on a mathematical level, which I don't want to get into too much, but each day, each code for each day is matching. So It's matching the universal code. So like if it's a 111, it's matching the universal code energy of 1. If it's 222, the entire month. So it's locked in. So that means that it'll be very easy for those of us who are focused to manifest. But your focus has to be consistent throughout the full time. It's the long game. Not I did 2 or 3, not quitting on yourself. This is making a decision to do something new every day, different towards your goal, towards your desire, towards something that you want to manifest. This eclipse energy is coming in through Virgo, which is very much a planner. It's about attention to detail and intention daily. So this is the time to be writing affirmations, journaling, working out, changing a diet. This is about wellness the entire month, because Virgo represents wellness. It represents health. Virgo is the mother that focuses on and loves you through performance, meaning how you do certain things. Virgo loves you by teaching you, giving you the key to how to fish, not necessarily fishing for you after a certain period of time. Virgo energy is the medicine woman, the nurse. But then we start to look at how these energies play, because it's not about nursing other people, because of the retrogrades, because of the way Saturn and Aries are dancing together, that I've been talking about probably for the last few Planning with the Planets. This entire energy, is very much focused on yourself. But it's not just selfishness. It's not that. It is self-fullness, and it is, how can I be full to the point that I'm running over? That I'm watering, I'm so hydrated. I'm such a hydrated woman, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, sexually, purposefully. I'm a hydrated woman to the point that I'm spilling over into my crops. You know, every farmer knows that this is the fall crop season. You start planting your crops before you at the optimal time. This is, in other words, this is an optimal time for you to begin to plant in the soil of the universe, particularly if there's something that you took your eye off of because of the intensity prior to now. This is quintessential planning, like today. Like you don't want a slack day, because you don't want to put that energy in the atmosphere. But it also is about feeling good. So the more joy that you can have, and I'm going to tell you why in a minute, the more joy that you can have with this particular energy for this month of September, the more you will amplify and attract what you desire with ease and with elegance, particularly those of you who practice any feminine technology, or those of you who want to remember your feminine technology, how to use Juicy in your life, even if you are still at just level 1 understanding of how to use Juicy in your life. But if you're level 2 understanding, it works when you work it, baby. And if those of you who are at level 3, you're moving into the adept chamber, into the feminine mysteries. You are her. You could not have chosen a better time to say yes to yourself, to move into this journey. Because what I found very interesting, like there are general things that you're going to hear everybody talking about. But what I found very interesting when I was listening, I was listening beyond just the eclipse, because you know how when you pay attention to the big event, there's usually another story happening. At least that's how the media works in the United States. They get your attention focused on one thing, so you don't pay attention to bills being passed, policies being passed in the background, things that affect your livelihood in the background. So as long as they can keep the people emotional, focused on one story, you're not focusing and saying, let me look around. Let me look. What's okay, let me see what kind of decisions, what kind, who's meeting at midnight? Is the Senate meeting at midnight? Is the Congress having a vote? What's the backstory? That's how I looked at this. And one of the things that I found, and those of you who are juicy she roses, you will appreciate this, that Jupiter is sitting in Cancer for 5.5 months. That's 5.5. And those of you who are, are in the entered the mystery school training, you all know that you're dealing with that 5 number. There she is again. She's been with us. Those of us who've been doing the work, that's Oshun energy. She's been with us all year, showing up on the addresses, showing up in your life. That 5. I thought that was very interesting. 5.5 is the mark this day, but because that Oshun energy is also about calling the sweetness into your life. What's going to make you sweeter, sis? What's going to make you sweeter? I really am asking that question. I want you to put it in the comments, but don't do it right away. I know you're a businesswoman. I know that you are an authority in your field and that you are the go-to in your family, but maybe you're too cerebral. Maybe you're too turned up. What's going to make you sweeter, sis? What's going to pollinate your beehive? Do you have to wear special equipment so you don't get stung by your own hive? Do you have to learn how to move around your bees and plant pollinators in your garden that the bees naturally go to? So now you're creating a cycle. Why am I using this analogy? I don't know. Maybe it's the 5.5. Because Jupiter is sitting in this Cancerian energy, which is also ancestral. It's very watery. Jupiter is also about big ideas, expansion, and determination. And so here, this energy for some of you, you may think that it's outside, but Cancer is saying it's in the house. It's in the house. What house? Your Ori, that house. It's in the house. In your birth chart houses. It's in the house. Close by, in your vicinity, something that you're looking over and looking around. You're too busy looking at somebody else's success, somebody or appearance of success, because we're also in this season of exposure and a lot of people being exposed on these internet streets. Some of you that go over some of you all's head, but if you play in the internet streets, you know that it's like, and Lord knows it. I was telling somebody today during their reading, I was like, no, let's get back on topic. I said, you see what's happening in Atlanta? And then we start talking about the Young Thug, the situation and the stuff that's happening with that exposure. Woo! But we're not here to talk about that, although it is a part of it. Because Pluto is retrograde and it's in Aquarius. So it's going back over some of the things that have been left out that's supposed to be exposed in big ways. Pluto can be petty in a good way. So anywho, So that's the overview of the energy that we're working with. Now, let's get more specific. I couldn't find the image that I want. I'm a little annoyed with myself that I didn't get it sooner. I thought I was going to be able to put my hands on it. I went from one device to the other and lost it in the device that I was in. And what I saw, my spiritual eyes literally saw the Merkaba energy in the middle of the wheel. And I'm still looking right now to see if I can pull it up. It is pretty Merkaba. Let me see if I can use an example. I have so many astrology things, but not the one that I want. Okay, I'm looking at my props. Wait a minute. I don't have the one that I want, so forgive me for me just grabbing old school. I'm still trying to find the picture that I had pulled. I had it, but I literally can't put my hand on it. So let me see what you can see. Can you also, okay, here we go. So when we're talking about this, we're looking at, I know you can't see the words, no problem. I don't want you to, because the words is not the focus. When we look at this, most of the planets, are sitting, they sit like where you see these dots, you might have planets that are sitting. Okay. And these are the houses, the different colors that you see here, like the purple, the red, these are houses. But what I'm talking about is happening right here in the inside of the circle. And it looks similar to what you see here. That's a star, but in it are lines which are sextiles, which creates triangles or trines. And it's all like going this way, that way, like everything is being hit and being touched. There's no exemptions. And I wanted you to see it. And if I can put my hands on it while we're doing this, I'll pull it up. And I found a few, but they weren't the one that I saw when I was studying. And that just jumped out at me. And I promise you, if I can't find it for tonight, I'm going to post it in the portal so you can see it with your own eyes. Because everything with 7 planets in, let me just go through them, okay? I told you that Mercury, well, so first of all, Uranus is also in Gemini right now. And you have so because we're talking about 12, and you have 7 in retrograde, that's more than half. Chiron is in retrograde in Aries. That's all about the self. Pluto is retrograde in Aquarius. That's all about transformation. Uranus is in Gemini, but it goes retrograde on the 7th during right before the eclipse. That means you got to watch what you say, because Uranus is the planet of surprises. Uranus it governs Aquarius. Uranus is the divine disruptor. Uranus is the energy that also reveals. So with it being in Gemini, anything could be said to you, about you, but really in the collective consciousness. So it's and it's important for us not to react, not to write anything, just write it any kind of way. One of the things that I try to do is when a text message becomes too, and it's not fun or lighthearted, if it is details and if like we're not texting, pick up the phone or put it in an email, because there's too many. The lazy way of communication could get us in trouble with Uranus and Gemini. You want to check what you're about to say before you say it. So in some cases for business, you want somebody to read what you're about to write or respond to or send out. In business, If it's a business deal and it's written, you want to have somebody look over it. Saturn is in retrograde in Pisces. And so Saturn is retrograde in Pisces, and what Saturn is the energy of discipline and responsibility. Now, Saturn is not really, yeah, let me see. It doesn't go direct until November. Saturn energy can be very intense. It can slow things down when you're trying to move something forward. It already moves slow. So when it's in retrograde, it's going in a totally different direction. It's in Pisces, which is all about breaking cycles. All of this influence with Pisces, and it's Pisces is the cycle breaker. So that means all the stuff you're processing is about cutting cords. It's about you breaking the cycle. You not just being an observer, not just talking about it. What do I need to do? If I don't like this in my mother, if I don't like this in my aunties, what is it that I need to shift? And in some cases, it may be something that happened that you don't know anything about that affected your entire genetics. Okay, where was I? Saturn. Okay, then I told you already about Jupiter in Cancer. It's gonna be it'll be going retrograde too in a few months. We'll get to that in time. Mars is direct, but it's in Libra, excuse me, and it enters Scorpio soon. Venus is in Leo right now, but enters Virgo. So the signs are also doing this. They're here one day and they're switching and they're in another one. So that means as soon as you get comfortable with one energy, here comes another one. We're getting a workout, baby. workout. So it's constantly shifting us. And then Venus is in, I said Venus in Virgo. Mercury is in Leo. I'm just trying to check for the retrogrades. Okay. So so in other words, it really, I could go through. Did she stay with her? Hello. Turns out I should have died by sanity. I was trying. Please. Somebody needs to put yourself on mute. I can't go through everybody to find you to put yourself, but I do. Who would like to take co-host to help me with this so it doesn't throw me off? Who would like to be co-host to help me out tonight?
I can do it. Sabrina.
Okay. Let me find you. I can't find you. Okay, there you go. Okay. All right. So let me get back into this pocket. So when we're looking at this, I could go through your planets. I really could. But this is the kind of energy you need a reading. You need to have it because to see what's firing up, what's watery, what is it for you, when we're talking about this, because in as quick as I say that something is in one place, it's shifting to another. And this eclipse energy is so intense because it's lunar. So it's going to go into the places that are unseen. That's the other thing with it being in Pisces. Pisces processes what you cannot see. So when you say, I don't know why I'm feeling this way, a lot of times we aren't really feeding our spiritual gift so it can kind of minister to us as well. Okay, let me get some specifics. I'm getting into some more of my notes. All right, let me go through just a review. We already know that this energy is about planning. It's about health. It's about focusing in, something that you're going to do every day towards the benefit of your vision turning out the way that you want it to be. This is about using your tools. It's no longer just doing things in your own strength. How can you work smarter, not harder? This is also not the energy to be in some kind of silo, solo, shut down, not talking, suffering in silence. It's going to feel 10 times stronger. So with Saturn re-entering Pisces, meaning it was already in Pisces. So here Saturn goes back to Pisces house. This affects your long-term decisions. Everything that we're talking about today affects long-term decisions. Don't think that it's short-term. Don't get emotional and blow up and then and let a temporary moment make you make a decision that costs you over time. This is about slowing down. Saturn is the guide. It's the grandfather. So it is about also your intuition and deep introspection, which oftentimes is shadow work. If you are not used to people telling you no or giving you feedback because you are a leader or you're a strong personality, I would invite you. I would invite you to choose to receive the feedback by the people who love you, so that life doesn't have to give you the lesson, because that's what Saturn does. You don't listen to all of the things that's being placed around you. Saturn says, well, here's how I'm going to do it for you. You might not like that. We might not like it. So it's about paying attention. These lunar eclipses are more of a mirror. So if you're being triggered by someone or something, can I tell you a little code that we use as metaphysicians when we start getting free from judgment and from constantly being triggered by them talking about them? It's called, if I can spot it, I got it. If I can spot it, I got it. If I can see it in somebody else to the point that it irritates me, it's in me. It wouldn't be showing up near my dwelling. The scripture says, don't let it come near my dwelling. It can't come near your dwelling if you're not vibrating on the same vibrational energy as that thing. That's how come the algorithm is a reflection of whatever you're clicking on. So the same thing, whatever you're clicking on, whatever you're watching and rewatching, it is feeding your subconscious mind, because Pisces also represents the subconscious mind. And so our lives start to give us feedback about that thing. Even if you have a leak in your house, if you got to address something that's broken in your house, you bump into some animals, pay attention. These are messages from spirit. Everything, even in your physical environment, is giving you feedback. Take inventory. What needs fixing in your house? Do you have clutter? It oftentimes will reflect either your availability to it, low standards, or low energy, which is a reflection oftentimes in our money. I can't fix it. I don't have the money to fix it. Okay, then in other words, I don't care how goody you think you are and how spiritually evolved, how such a much you think you already are, there's something that wants your attention. The lunar eclipse says, I'll mirror it to you if you don't just get in the mirror yourself. All right. So it's about also confronting hidden truths. You don't like somebody, you don't like something, you put up with something, you've tried to just move on and take the high road, but it hurts you. You may process it. It's some stuff that came up for me in the last 2 weeks that I said, why did I wait so long to talk about this? Oh my God. I was just shocked at myself because I was moving on. I'm air. Air energy tends to move on. don't have time to come down to deal with BS or what we perceive as BS. But sometimes you don't, also you numb out, you don't talk, you don't process. And I'm saying it in the general, I can say it in the specific for me. I saw it, I felt it, but I didn't have time to feel into it. It did imprint on me something that I didn't process. But I couldn't see my tendency to mother and to hold on to things. This is also about letting go, cord cutting. How many of you can say ouch or amen, have been holding on to people who don't want to be held on to? Your children, grown-ass children, relationships that got holes in them, a location. You keep on trying to live there, but your money is funny. You can't, you take 10 steps forward, holding on. Ain't that? I'll be holding on. Y'all love that, Jeff. Isn't that Jeffrey Osborne? I heard the beat in my head. So, but you ever tried to hold on to somebody? Anybody swims? Like really swims? Have you ever tried to go out and hold on to somebody who was fighting you in the water? Anybody a lifeguard in here? Take yourself off mute because I can't see everybody. Anybody a lifeguard or ever had training like that where you lifeguards are instructed that if they come out to rescue you and you fight them, to knock your ass out, because you'll kill both of you because of you fighting. That's why a lot of people are having meltdowns and breakdowns, because a lot of women do not know how to feel into it and ride the wave of the emotions. It's such a Western phenomena for Westernized women who operate in their masculine. And the moment it's time to be vulnerable, you think that something is wrong, but spirit may be setting something right for you. So, all right. So that's this week, like leading into this eclipse. You know, I can tell you all a story. Like, don't take these damn eclipses light. I came off of I think my last menopausal bleeding and all of that was at the last eclipse that happened in April 2 years ago, I think it was. I just started bleeding on an eclipse. It was another one of those, but this was a solar eclipse. It was intense. My husband got the bright idea to go outside. I wasn't going to go out in the energy because I knew that it was chaotic energy. I didn't listen to what my blueprint. Went out hiking, and it was an energy, it was a vibe. This is the kind of thing that can happen when you don't prepare, when you don't nourish yourself, you don't rest. So don't take it lightly. Don't be surprised by anything that could come up on your phone. Do not engage. Do not engage the fears. Do not engage the drama. Don't even engage it in yourself. Seriously, out yourself. Okay, so then after the lunar eclipse is going to be a solar eclipse. Did I tell y'all that? Okay. Yeah, that's September, honey. She's coming in, shifting things. It's about radical transformation. So it's a partial solar eclipse. This is where that other Virgo moon, twice we get Virgo new moon, twice we get the opportunity to plan, twice we're getting more of this, a little bit more of this Lilith energy. Twice we're getting the thing to say, what's your new project, your new beginning, your new choice, your new routine, your renewal, your rebirth, your revival, twice. So this is every day there's something. Mercury is going to enter into Virgo on September 2nd. So that means the communication that also is being influenced by Uranus is now going to get into the details. And you might find yourself saying this to somebody, why didn't you tell me this? Like, why did you wait till now? Or you might have a conversation with somebody and say, I didn't know you were carrying all of this. I know you felt that way. Listen, don't defend. Venus is moving into Virgo on September 19th. Oh yeah, they're all hitting the medicine woman. Not all of them. Then Mars is hitting Scorpio. Okay, so now you don't want to dive into the deep. This is about the way you want to transform. And then Libra season begins September 22nd. The balance of the scales, Venus energy, beautiful energy. So this energy, Virgo, Pisces, Capricorn, Taurus, and Scorpio are the ones that are going to feel the strongest, most positive effects. Those of you who use this energy wisely, you'll see gains, you'll see more visibility for Virgo, you'll have the fresh start, you'll even have some recognition. Pisces, you'll have more emotional clarity. If you are Pisces, use the Pisces energy of emotion to get clear. What is this? Where did this come from? Get support. Capricorn, you're going to have a breakthrough in your career around your leadership. New things are on the horizon for those of you who use Capricorn energy for order, for integrity. This is not just people who are born under this or have it in their rising or in their moon. This can be the energy that you use. If you don't have any Capricorn, then you have to ask yourself, how can I be more Capricorn? How can I be more Pisces? How can I be more Virgo? Or where do I have it in my chart? Then there's Taurus. Taurus is governing deeper self-discovery and relationships and work ethic in relationships. And then Scorpio is where we're going to see some real intensity around how you express yourself in your career. Are you being authentic? Are you using your voice? Either way, this is a month of cosmic reset. This is Saturn saying that you have to be disciplined. If you want to lose weight, how many by when? How many pounds do you want to lose by the 30th? If you want to gain weight, what do you have to do it? If you want to gain muscle, you must have a plan for it. Things cannot just happen. You can't throw something on the wall and see if it sticks. You can't keep saying, I'm going to get a reading. I'm going to ask this question, and then don't do it. In other words, when you practice spiritual science, you have to do a demonstration. You have to send a signal to the universe. I want more of this. Here's the demonstration that I'm in alignment, that I'm stepping out to show you to send me. A demonstration is required after affirmation, after intention. You got to do something. And if you really want to shift it, the message that I've been hearing so much so, and I would love to hear your feedback. You all are my tribe, my community. I'm really getting so many messages and transmissions because those of you who are spiritually gifted, you have the gift of dreams. This Pisces energy that's being exalted is going to have your dreams active, your spiritual downloads, the messengers that speak to you, your cosmic counsel. You will get messages, and some of you may not know how. You may feel it, you may hear it, but your spiritual gifts are going to be more refined. I really have been thinking about doing a challenge, about a 21-day challenge of Be the Shift, because shift is happening. But many of us are waiting. Well, let me see what the Republicans let me see what Trump gonna do. Some of y'all hate Trump so much that you worship him. You really don't even know it. Same way you go to a church and all they do is talk about the damn devil. They ain't talking about God. They're not talking about love. They're not talking about scripture. They're telling you about hell and damnation more than they tell you about the goodness. Some of you do that politically. Some of you do that in relationships. You want to manifest a relationship, but you sitting around talking with a bunch of old, bitter women. Where they do that at? In the metaphysical streets, in the manifestation streets. It doesn't go together. You want a husband spend time with wives that are happy. Do you have any around you? Can you count the ways? How many of you have some happy wives with happy lives around you? I'll wait. I'm waiting in the comments. That want relationships. I'm asking. One woman has responded. Okay, 2, 3. I said do. Okay, 3. You already is it 2? Is it 2 tears in here? I seen your response. Or is it 2? It's possible that it's 2. 4. Okay, so I said 4. Out of all of these women and the ones under the sound of my voice on the replay, there's a crisis happening in womanhood and in our families. This season is going to show us that. Now, let me see. I want to take any questions. You have to take yourself off mute because I'm not looking at the screen right now. I'm trying to find this picture that I want y'all to see, this Merkaba energy. I want to there's 2 things. I'm trying to do 2 things. One, let me show. So let me tell you, because I said I was going to tell you. But if you take yourself off mute and ask any question that you want. Oh, nobody asked good questions?
Yeah, this is Tia. Hi.
Okay.
Okay, so I want to ask a question or just around the energy that's happening now because I've been extremely low energy
Yeah.
and really in the bed straight for 3 days and feeling like literally no energy.
Yeah.
And but I'm also at the same time feeling joy, crying all the time. I'm Cancer, but it's a good cry. It's a good feeling. A lot of good things are happening.
Yeah.
And you talk about the downloads, those type of things are happening. But I'm just asking about the energy and just being so drained.
Yeah. Well, see,
Um,
whenever light codes are being sent to us and light codes are being sent to us, that's why I wanted to show you this image. So I'm just going to stop looking for now and make sure that I post it in the portal. For those of you who are in the community, you'll get that. But the Merkaba is a light energy. It's a sacred geometric pattern that ushers in light codes, and we're getting them. This is a spiritual ascension season. We can't meet certain things with our physical mind. And so sometimes the fatigue does not mean that anything is going on. It means that there are literal solar flares that have been happening in the last 24 hours, for instance. You all see me in my Instagram stories. I post about the Schumann resonance all the time. And sometimes when we're sleeping, these solar flares happen, these other types of light energies that are measurable, that are documented, is happening. We are energetic beings. We are a grid as it is. And so especially those of you who are opening up communication with your other light bodies that we call ancestors, those are light bodies, light beings.
yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you're going to be getting all types of flares and clearing and it's cord cutting as well. Things away from us that we no longer need. This is why we do need to stay hydrated. We do need rest when we feel it. I know I've been saying this all summer. This was not I'm outside energy. Well, we outside. We outside. Honey, this is not we outside energy. Just go sit your ass down somewhere.
Mhm.
and sit with people who are taking you higher. So this is so we're getting these energetic zaps. I think I talked about that 2 or 3 planning with the planets ago. Like with this is a zappy kind of energy. And sometimes it's gonna feel like absolute irritation. And you don't know why. And I'm not just talking about perimenopausal or menopausal energy or PMS energy, but that will be how you know, because it can be very much intense. But ask it, what is this? Where did this come from? Is it mine? Then sit, take a nap, keep a journal nearby. If it doesn't move, notice what you need to do. Do you need to take it out on somebody? Do you want to avoid it? Do you want to kind of get away from it? Are you doing resistance is only making it stay? But can you sit down and let it tell you? Because all you need to do is ask it again. What is this? Where did it come from? What do I need to know from this? Doesn't ask, go meditate. Go take a spiritual bath. This is very much about working the tools and asking for the tools that you need. I would encourage you to come to get a frequency reading. There's still the miniature frequency reading. And I would encourage you to get these binaural beats that's built off of light codes, that when you listen to the sound, when you use the colors that you get, there's a color code that we talk about or that you get in your report, wearing the colors, having crystals with the colors from the frequency reading, getting the glasses. Some of you have had frequency readings with me, but you didn't get the accessories, the bone conducting headphones, the glasses and the accessories, so that you are loading in what you want. Many of us are operating by default. We're letting life happen. And when I come on here, when we talk about planning with the planets, it's an invitation to happen to your life. And I'm talking to myself. I'm not exempt from this. When we talked in the mother tongue reading room last week, it was so therapeutic to be able to have my sisterhood to come and not have to edit myself, and to hear you all be able to read verses that applied to something that you were experiencing. We need community. We need our families. And if you are the cultural custodian, if you are the awakened one in your bloodline, then you can't be the one just judging them about what they didn't do and what they didn't do for you. And it's time to cut the childhood narrative. When I was a child, I spoke as a child. Now that I'm all grown up, I put away childish things. Some of us are grown women, and Chiron is going to tell you, letting the little girl run all of our business, our money, our relationships with others, in and out, cutting people off, but not resolving conflict, not talking about it, because you're emotionally immature in some areas. And that's okay to be 60 years old and recognize that you didn't grow that up. What are you going to do about it now? Can you go back to your children and say to your children, I didn't know what I didn't know, baby. I know this now. I would have done that better. Because at least you're giving them the gift of reflection, of humility, of atonement. And you are canceling out the thing that the neurotoxins that you inherited from the cells of your mother, your mother's mother, your father's father, and so on. Because you're willing to say out loud, I didn't know. I don't care how grown your children are. If you have grandchildren, I'm going to close with this because the grandmother energy is also very much present between these Virgo new moons, 2 Virgo new moons. There was a woman, she just transitioned. She lived well past 90. Her granddaughter comes in and out of this community. She would call me. I could not beat her calling me. She called and check on me. But when I first started standing up in this work, my aunt would call and process with me this is in her 70s, her childhood, her young adulthood, the choices that she made as a wife. It was so humbling because we think that they are supposed to have all of the answers because they're older. And she was processing with me the stuff that she couldn't process with her own mother, with her own children. I'm really trying not to get emotional because it was such a gift that she trusted me. And I would listen to her, and I knew then it does not have to end the way that it began for some of the people we know in their 60s and 70s. She told me, even the Bible, her interpretation of the Bible, she was reevaluating and said, I didn't know this. So she used to be really rigid with her own children, who all for one period of time went on and became Muslims in the Nation of Islam. So isn't that ironic? But she was so rigid with them, she thought that there was going to be damnation and and it really ruined her relationship with her children for a period of time. And she said, I just didn't know better. And she relearned a direct relationship with God that wasn't based on punishment, hell, and fatback theology. And pork rhinestones. I'm sorry, I was just saying. Y'all know what I'm saying. So the grandmothers are speaking. There could have been a woman that you cultivated. I ask you to bring her Sunday to our Sunday service online. If you have a picture of her, bring it. If you don't, if you have her name, that's enough. We're going to honor some of the grandmothers. This is also the season of the dark feminine. So I really am thinking about doing this Be the Shift challenge. I'm going to do it on YouTube, TikTok, something every day, something for us to consider to be it. What you think? I want to hear you back from you. And then at the end of the month, I told one of the sisters, I told Megan, actually, I said, I'm really feeling called for us to have a special session on the dark feminine, because that Virgo new moon in Lilith, baby, she is still right now delivering. And so many of us have been taught that the dark feminine means something evil. And it's not that. It's another thing to make you afraid to go into your own self. So I don't want to get started on that, but that's the energy that we're in. Okay. So if there are no more questions that come up, because your questions will pull on my oil and I will be able to, deposit. Now, I can't give you a full reading tonight or that type of thing, but the frequency reading, it's already discounted. I cancel discounted, because that's the other thing, is we have to stop discounting ourselves, our worth. But it is priced for those who tap into this session. I don't publicly advertise it, so you should be able to go to the link in my bio on any platform if you want a frequency reading. If you want a full blueprint reading, that this is a great time for you to also get a little bit of a bonus Lilith reading when you schedule in the month of September. So I think I've talked much more than I planned to give an overview. I feel like I'm way over time. So Any last minute, I'll take 3 questions if there's anybody that has something specific. That was a good one, Tia. See how much longer more I talked?
I have a quick, well, hopefully, I don't know if the answer is quick. So, but when you were describing the eclipse energy and you said we're going from lunar to solar eclipse, and I was just trying to understand, I guess, what the bigger difference between lunar versus solar eclipse.
Well, the lunar eclipse, of course, deals a lot with your inner emotions, your hidden emotions, because it's in Pisces. But the solar eclipse is about it shines light onto. And so we're talking about the cross. Look at how they cross each other, how the sun crosses the moon and such. So one, and then the solar eclipse is a partial. And so that means you're not going to get the full effects of it, but it is strong enough. It represents radical transformations, chaotic energy at times. A little bit of like weird stuff happens during this time and in this season. Right now, they're saying that this is about the time that we're going to start seeing other planets and other life and beings. We don't talk about it a lot in our community, but it is something I talk about in my friendship circles. And that is, there are people who also have the spiritual gift to communicate with other beings. Some of you, when you open up this ability, you need to know, what do I do in my dreams if I meet and like if I'm seduced in my dreams? Sometimes you're being seduced in your dreams by an entity, and you need to know, how can I do this? What little thing can I do so you're not bringing back spiritual attachments and such? So it's just a great time to understand we're not the only people here. We only know about the constellations that you've been told about, but there are more. Yes, there are going to be sightings. I've been seeing sightings. We've been taught in the Nation of Islam, they used to teach us how to see what they call the baby planes and the mothership and the signs of them. Anytime we are seeing the northern lights all the way in the United States, in we're seeing the effects of the northern lights, there's a shift happening. All right, Michelle, go ahead.
How are you, Dr. Latanya? Thank you so much for the explanations.
Thank you.
My question has to do with coming into the alignment, and just each time I go to sit in the space during the day, I'm feeling very sleepy. Like I'm in the middle of working, and in the middle of working, I'm praying. And then all of a sudden it's like, go lay down.
You may be being activated the gift of trance. Do you give yourself the time to? And that's just what I heard when you were talking. Especially sometimes if it's in the middle of the day, you might be getting that type of gift loaded in if you can't go to sleep. But it may, because Pisces energy is very dreamy, it's very otherworldly. It takes you into other worlds, and so you're supposed to sleep under Piscean influence. What is your sun sign?
I'm a Capricorn, December 24th. But what I've been happening is during the night, though, I'm not sleeping from 11 o'clock until 5 a.m. I am not going to bed. If I doze off for 30 minutes, it's like it's almost as if my spirit jumped back in my body and I'm up.
So that definitely can speak to the need for a spiritual bath. Your circadian rhythm needs to be reset. I would even recommend grounding mats. If order some from Amazon like yesterday that you can put under your sheets or on your pillowcases, or just go get outside. Like even tonight, get outside. Now, all solar eclipses, you don't need to be outside in. Most people will tell you that the ancients did not go outside. Now, there's a bit of a debate about this. Indigenous practices, many of them did not go in full with the energy of the eclipse.
Mhm.
Unless that is something that you have been spiritually read or you are literally called to do it. You could trust it if you desire,
Right.
or if you have the guidance. So, but back to you, Michelle, I would say that those are some things that you can to get your circadian rhythm reset, even if you need to take something to, meaning herbal,
Yeah.
to take you down. Do you know what you are in human design?
No.
Okay.
I put in the chat, I was supposed to complete a reading with you and we didn't get to line up to do it, but I was trying to figure out how to get back to the link to reschedule
Yeah,
it.
you have to ask me for what you need. I've taken a lot of things down off of my site because there are certain things that's only going to be available to the tribe now going forward, that will not be available to the general public. So if it's something you saw and didn't take advantage of, you have to tell me what it is. So for instance, the human design readings, there were many human design readings that I made available to the public for a period of time. That's no longer available to the public, but I can send you the link if you want to do a mini human design reading.
Yeah. Yes, I believe that's what I had done with you. That's what I had ordered to do.
Okay,
Okay. Thank you so much.
my pleasure.
I
Anybody?
will get them. Thank
Did I
you.
do three? Is there one more?
Hey, Coach, this is Tamara. I had a question real quick. I know Uranus is in my square. It's squared up with Saturn, but I heard you say that Uranus is in Gemini. Is it going into Gemini?
It's in Gemini right now.
Would you be able to kind of talk? Would you be able to tell me tell me more about that?
It would not be wise for you to be impulsive in any way, shape, form, or fashion, and Saturn is going into retrograde in Pisces is saying that you have to own all of the cycles of action or decisions and choices that you made from the past, because Pisces takes you to the past. Saturn is in retrograde, which takes you to revisit and go back down and reassess some things. So any places in your life where you've been impulsive, where you've talked too much, or didn't talk enough, or talk purposeful, this is an opportunity for you to look at that energy and say, okay, is what I'm experiencing right now where I want to be, and where were the impulsive decisions that got me here? I hope that helps.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yes, Ashe, no problem.
Okay, I got can you take one more? I'm sorry.
Okay.
It's Sabrina. So coming into this Virgo energy as a Virgo, Sun in Virgo, Venus in Virgo, Mars in Virgo, what should I be doing to prepare? Like I keep hearing I need to protect my house. What should I be doing to, I don't know, I guess protect my grounds or something. I don't know where that's coming
You
from.
keep hearing that you need to protect your house.
Yes.
Metaphysically, houses can represent states of consciousness. Even when we do the readings in terms of astrology, we do look at the houses and that type of thing. So I would also ask, is it my physical house? Is it my sanctuary, which again is your Ori? But it wouldn't hurt for you as a Virgo to clear your house, spiritually clean your house, focusing on the corners. I'm seeing corners, that if there's anything that's not useful in corners, putting light there in places where it's darkness. Light can be a protection, even if there's places on the outside of your house where there needs to be light. I'm seeing floodlights, motion lights, as some ways, but even I'm seeing some decorative lights. Those can be ways to protect your house, but get clear whether it's your physical house or your spiritual house.
Ooh, okay. Okay, because I had the weirdest thing happen to me the other day. It was a lizard inside the house, but it wasn't just like a brown lizard. It was a black lizard, and it had like this iridescent blue and green stripes. And I was like, that's a peculiar looking animal to be inside the house. I'm like, what's in the house? So that was another thing that I'm like, and I looked it up and it said lizards symbolizes renewal, dreams, adaptability, and connection between the spiritual and physical world.
And Egun's ancestral energy.
Oh, that's okay. Okay. I already know what that is then. Okay.
See, look at you. Look at you. There you
Dr.
go.
Tony, I was just going to add on to that because Sabrina was talking about with the lizard, and I've been seeing dragonflies, and I looked up what that means and what the process we're in. I was like, everywhere.
Yep. That's how you start to see your totem as well, or your totems plural. So we don't just have one. So this has been good and delicious just to get started for the week. So I will post a few things in the portal to just add to some of our practices. When we do be the shift, I will definitely announce it in the portal first, and make some things available to you all in the portal and for those who come in as well. So this is a great opportunity. September is a special month. My mom was born in this month. I have a shout out to my godmothers and spiritual mothers. They're all in this month. My spiritual father, brother in this month. So I have a very interesting relationship with Virgo. That energy came to be my medicine woman, or covering, spiritual covering. And I'm so grateful for it. I didn't always like the criticisms that Virgos have. But I certainly have grown because of the way that they're able to pay attention to details. So shout out. How many of you are September? I heard Sabrina, you're Virgo. How many? Shout out to the Virgos in the house today. How many Virgos we got in here? Okay. All right. One Virgo. I know 2 Virgos. Honey, you need to get your plan together. You can't lose with the stuff you use. Okay, listen. Okay, well, you're not a Virgo, baby. I asked Virgo. Well, okay, September. Okay, all right, but you can use this energy. You can use this energy, Libra. Yes, we're not gonna leave the Libras out. Virgo moon, that counts. That counts. That counts. Wherever you have these placements, and come learn about them if you don't know. I love you all. There's nothing you can do about it. Have a listen, can I tell you, play with joy? I started off saying play with joy. It's easy to get the grungies, to get anxiety. Anxiety comes from the need to control, to be in control. It's easy to attach to all of the negative people who are worrying about things if you're an empath, because you feel for them. And then you can feel guilty that you don't feel bad because things are moving in your life. Survivor's guilt sometimes. I'm telling you, feel good. Do what you have to do to feel good. Do what you have to do. I don't even know the name of that song. I don't know. I will end the YouTube so that I can play the song or find the song again. Let me see if I can find it. So those of you who have to go and who are watching on YouTube, thank you. Make sure you tune into Shift Talk. We've started a new series. Why didn't they tell us about this? Why didn't anybody tell me about that? ... Most of the month of September is focused on women's health and secrets, reproductive health, perimenopause, a lot of la-di-da-di. So this Wednesday, we're going to have Dr. Angela Kuger, who is a Black woman who has one of the only life coaching certification programs that has been adopted by the state of Georgia, honey. She knows something about women's health and wellness. And so she's going to be telling us about how where you live affects your health. And when you move, how it affects your health. So grab your friends, tell a friend to tell a friend to meet me at 1 o'clock on Wednesday. All right, I'm going for real this time. I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. Have a good evening, everyone.
I put the song in the chat. I had sound hounded when you played it.
Okay.